On mountain heights of heaven's land, I now invoke the master plan. Because it's my divine birthright, I'm giving back my cosmic sight. At dawn of life, I was so high, and with the angels I did fly. I now ascend to higher plane. The ancient times come again. It is in the name of holy peace that all my blessings now increase. My great abundance now comply with the power of my single eye. I bless the darkness, make it right, reverse the tide and free the light. Make my power ever pure, else let the power not endure. Welcome, beloveds. Welcome to Ascension Live. I am Astarius, Miraculii, and I'm here to share some frequency of ascension. I just finished working with a client just a little while ago. I didn't actually know that I would be doing a live presentation here on YouTube. It was just a spontaneous decision. And I love it when Spirit works with me in that spontaneous way, when all of a sudden I am guided to do a particular something and to transmit a particular something. I'm feeling some great exaltation in my spirit. And when I feel exaltation in my spirit, I love to share that energy forward so that I can offer unto my beloveds that which I am feeling in my spirit. You know, I am so grateful that who we all are is a descendant from Creator, Source. That everything that can be found within Creator Source is also a resonance of connection that exists within the central core of our being. You know, I am so grateful that each of us are the microcosmic container of the macrocosmic all that is. I am so grateful that anything that could be known about the whole of the universe or any being, experience, or situation within the universe can be accessed within the very core of our being. I'm so grateful that we are a biological living library containing the knowledge of all things. I am so grateful that we are the resonance of eternity, and all trials and tribulations will pass away. I am so grateful that we are awakening to the reality that we are one with Creator Source in the center of being, as God has a center that is everywhere and a circumference that is nowhere. I am so grateful that we, being descendants of Creator Source, also have a center that is everywhere and a circumference that is nowhere. There is no circumference that can bind the expansion of our being. I am so grateful that every cell, as a reflection of our consciousness, is in this awareness of our eternal expansion. I am so grateful that we are a focalization of the omnipresence, that our presence is the meeting place for the omnipresence that we really are. That's the reason why each of us have a presence that is everywhere and a circumference that is nowhere, because it takes the whole of the omnipresence to make up who we really are. We are a focalization of the omnipresence, portaling through the individualization of our presence. I am so grateful that in due season of eternity, we all come into the awareness that we are cellular co-creator of all that is created. So grateful that we will come into the awareness that we have a co-creative hand in every amazing thing that is ever done in the whole of life. That we have a co-creative hand in every good deed that is ever done. So grateful that we are allowing our self-esteem to skyrocket through the roof of the cosmos by virtue of realizing the infinite, eternal, omnipresent, all dimensionality of our creative expression. So grateful that every cell within our being is blossoming into the knowingness that we are the oneness of the wholeness of creative expression. We are the oneness of the wholeness of the expression of love. That every focalized experience of love is also our own experience of love by extension. So grateful that we are coming home to ourselves, aligning with that inner divinity that we are. We are God within. My being knows no limit, for I am the God within. Horizon of this moment with eternity, I blend. Every space is here. Every time is now. Everyone is me. Full awakening of eternal remembrance. Blessing now, I be. Immortal hand, immortal body, immortal energy, immortal healing. I, as God and Goddess do, all that Creator Source will ever do. I, as God and Goddess do, all that Creator Source will ever do. In these tones, I channel our eternal victory and the greatest exaltation of our ascension frequency. Sound is the primordial first cause. All things have found their way into being and crystallized manifestation by virtue of sound. Allow your personal prayers and life intentions to be carried upon the wings of these sounds, these tones, these vocal harmonics. You are God and you are Goddess, microcosmically expressed in the individualization of your being. I channel the love that God feels for me. I allow love to have its way with me as I express love to me and all that is. I channel the full power of God, Goddess, Absolute, angels and ascended masters. I allow the harmonic convergence of my consciousness with the ascended host into crystallization in my now moment. I remember and I allow the divine resonance of my existence. All realities and experiences are serving unto my expansion and yours and our empowerment. We are empowered by everything. I channel the peace that God intends for me. I am in the arms of peace, that peace that surpasses all understanding. I am immune to all viruses, dis-ease, and anti-divinity. If it ain't divine, it ain't mine. Only what's divine is truly mine. I channel the wisdom from the heart of God. I am infinite intelligence and the awakening of cosmic consciousness. I am the spiritual and biological living library containing the knowledge of everything that is, was, or ever will be. The Akashic records have been downloaded into my mind. I dream awake total enlightenment. I commemorate the infinite past and pre-memorate the eternal future, which is harmonically converged in the now memoration of my now moment. I remember who I am. I remember that I am is the name and the nature I share with God in the family of life. I channel the unlimited material abundance of God, and I am a billionaire of being. I honor my wealth of form and formlessness. I channel my inner child, the little elder within me, who is the root of my godhood. I play my way all the way back into the arms of God, absoluteness. The way is shown and I am home. I channel God's divine vision. I see and awaken the intended beauty and blessings within everyone and everything. The supreme peace of Creator Source flows in and through me, and all who are in my eternal presence are lit up with my eternal radiance. I am so honored to be a beloved source of life's expansion and empowerment. Blessed be God's giving through me. I channel God's worth and infinite validation of my soul with eyes of wisdom. I see that God values me by virtue of my being. So from now on, I will do, achieve, and create for the sheer joy of it. Yes, my Creator has taught me that the true measurement of my worth is in the root of my being. I therefore live, move, and have my being in infinite intelligence and abundance absolute. I channel my divinity. I allow my awakening. I am that I am, God within my body, mind, heart, and soul. I am God within my body, mind, heart, and soul. That which is necessary. That which is necessary shall be. There is no escape from the fulfillment of necessity. To make a vain attempt will find one in the spider web of cyclicity. Around and around a constant revolution, not learning the lesson or receiving the message that would afford one a divine solution. But as for every experience, yours or mine, we are the creators of necessity in thought and word and deed. You see, never an element of chance, not for you or for me, because we project the causes. The effects become necessary. We create action, circumstance, and destiny. And now we know exactly what to expect through the universal law. of cause and effect. But during the times when something negative would happen to us, our burden seemed so heavy, and oh, how unjust. And we cursed and cried, how could this happen to us? But the seeming negative thing was a lesson and a message too that could be highly beneficial to me and to you. The lesson and the message were like a door mark pull. But our head was so hard. We were as stubborn as a bull, for there we were, pushing on a door mark pull. What are we doing? No wonder all the strife. Let us pass through the door of experience, and it will serve us in life. So we open up the door, we stand tall, and we face it. Our cup is somewhat bitter, but we receptively embrace it. It's a very wise decision, for we cannot escape it. Yes, this effect was reaped from a cause we did sow, and now is simply the time to pay the debt that we owe. So with calm assurance, we now walk through the door, to be tormented by this experience no more. For the lesson we have learned and the message we did hear it, oh, how it expanded our mind and quickened our spirit. Yes, that circumstance was no element of chance. We were only receiving our own, and that's why we embraced it. Behold, the things of greater brilliance on the other side of the door that now dutifully and gracefully fulfill and replace it. To think we foolishly thought it was a disadvantage, what a blessing to realize that every seeming negative thing must always have an equal positive advantage. And now that all negative thoughts have been divinely released, our countenance is filled with that heavenly peace, a peace firm in the supreme spirit of eternal standing. I mean that unshakable peace that passeth understanding. And now whatever our fate, let us not be disturbed. It did not happen to hurt us, but to humbly serve, despite the seeming pain and apparent distress. All situations are to uplift our consciousness. And now we deny the influence of anything distressing, for there is a lesson that is teaching and a message wisely expressing to please study us closely, for we are really a blessing. And now the knowledge has been bestowed upon you and upon me that whatever comes into being is born of necessity. No more will we be caught in the web of cyclicity. We're now empowered by the dance of cause and effect, the universal law of necessity. And that was cause and effect, the universal law of necessity. I wrote that piece in the early months of 1973. I had been on my spiritual path for just a couple months. I was 22 years around the sun, 22 turns around the sun. And so that piece that you just heard, I wrote at the tender age of 22, having been on my spiritual path for just a couple months. And when I wrote that piece, I knew what my life was for. I knew that the brilliance that Creator Source had been kind enough to give to me, and the brilliance of my mind was given to me to be a source of upliftment and helpfulness to others. Because I had a very turbulent cycle before that, from age 16 up until 22. Left mama's house at age 16. She and I sat down and decided that since I was not going to obey the rules, I needed to leave. And there was a mutual decision between she and I. Took to the streets at age 16 in the treacherous ghettos of Chicago. Lived on the streets for a few years before I actually learned how to take care of myself. Was a doorman at the Whole House on 47th Street in Chicago at age 16. All the role models, pimps and hoes and gangsters and thieves and con men and con women. And I'm a part of that treachery. But God was so kind to take care of me during those years. And then turning 22, spiritual light came on and never looked back since then. Oh my God, what a wonderful journey. Talking 49 years ago. And oh my God, so grateful to still be a whippersnapper. Never joining the over the hill gang because I'm the captain of the top of the hill gang. Having more exuberance and vitality in my body and my being now than I had when I was in my 20s. And I'm so grateful to know that it can be that way, and that as we evolve chronologically, that we can also biologically be youthing. My consciousness is evolving and my body is youthing. I'm so grateful and so honored for that. That piece, Cause and Effect, is featured in my book, Miraculii, Song of Ascension. And the other piece that I read earlier, I channel the love that God feels for me, and all of that piece that was just right before. That is a recitation from my latest double album, which is Ascension, Love, and the Word Became Flesh. And I also have a brand new, completely remodeled website. You got to go and check it out. I'm over the moon in gratitude for the way in which it has turned out. And that's Astarius.com, ASTARIUS.com. I thank you so much for receiving the exuberance of my being, the exaltation of my spirit. Because my exaltation is your exaltation, as your exaltation is my exaltation, and all exaltation is our exaltation. So let me peep over here in the chat and see what everybody is sharing here. And also, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, this is a good point to put those questions in the chat. Let me scroll a little bit back here. Shalom, universal family, love and peace to you all. Comes from Nikki. And then namaste from Thomas. And the blue resonant monkey, a hood. A who. Or maybe it's a ho. A ho, a who. Yeah, we got three. It might be, yeah, it's a ho, but it's also a who. It's all of it. Let's see. All the beloveds reaching out. I love you all so much. I thank you for co-creating with me and presencing with me. Thank you. Such gratitude to each to catch you alive. You're so welcome, beloved, and infinitely worthy. So beautiful, Astarius. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kiki. I appreciate love you. An astral earth said, wow. Yeah, wow, indeed. You know, we always co-create the magic when we come together, because everything is a co-creation. Everything that flows out of my mouth, you know, in this now moment, and most especially for those, you know, who are right here in the live, you have a co-creative hand in it, because our frequencies are joined together in co-creation. And I'm not speaking from the exclusiveness of what flows from me individually. I'm speaking from the all-inclusiveness of the combining of our collective energies. And that's the flow of the co-creation. Bless you, Astarius. Let's hold space for my tribe. Indeed, you have that. And okay, you are the spitting image of my grandfather, a cosmic twin. It is a blessing to receive these messages. Well, I'm so honored that I could be the spitting image of your grandfather. Andromeda, God, speed indeed. Yes. So I'm going to offer a little didgeridoo. I always like to bring some of that frequency in. And then if there are any questions that anybody wants to ask or any particular topic that you'd like to bring to the table, you can put that in the chat and I will see it when it comes back. Oh, okay. Before I play the didgeridoo, I do see it. Well, how did you come to Reiki? Well, that's a wonderful question because Reiki sought me out. You know, very interesting. This would have been in 1991, living in Phoenix, Arizona. And a dear friend of mine, actually, I was married at that particular time, and you know, we were making crystal wands and crystal staff. This is some of my creation here. This is my most recent gift unto myself. And so we also made staffs that would stand anywhere from about 5.5 feet tall to 6 feet tall. And so she's a dear friend, and she said, you know, I really love those staffs you make. Would you be willing to make me a staff, and I'll initiate both of you into the first level of Reiki? Well, we didn't really know anything about Reiki at that particular time, but this was our dear friend Jessica, who was well respected in the spiritual community, and so we said, well, we'll probably get something out of it, and so we agreed to that exchange, and was initiated into the first level of Reiki, and it was phenomenal. We already had a spiritual practice doing readings and crystal healings, and so it was easy to just begin to introduce our clients into Reiki. So then 1 month later, she approaches us again. She said, well, second level Reiki is coming up, and would you be willing to make me another staff and make one for my teacher? And I'll initiate you into second level Reiki. And of course, by that time, we know how powerful and profound this Reiki frequency is. And so we were stoked and absolutely ready. And so that's how the Reiki came about in terms of the first and second level. At that time, to become a Reiki master teacher was $10,000 and a year's apprenticeship. And I knew that I didn't want to invest that money at that time, or even a year's apprenticeship. And so I said, well, we're good with first and second level. And then a couple of years later, this would have been 1993 then, we'd moved to Santa Fe, and I started saying, I think I want to be initiated to the master level. And so, this one was a lot less expensive. It was $1,500 for the master level. So the plan was I would get initiated, and then I would initiate, my beloved after that. But this wonderful Reiki teacher, my Reiki master teacher that brought me to the master level, Elizabeth Philippi, and now Elizabeth Vassala, she said, well, you both, it's important you both receive it at the same time. So I'm going to give you both, the master level for the price of one. So give us both the master level for the $1,500. And so that's how the master level came in. But every turn in the course of the Reiki experience, Reiki was always making itself easily available to me and seeking me out. So that's how the Reiki came about. Thank you for that question. It was really, really wonderful. I appreciate that question. Reiki is so profound. And also, I have an album called Reiki Temple Chants, and I just uploaded the video earlier today, called Alchemical Reiki. So you might want to check that out. But let me go ahead and offer some frequency of the didgeridoo. And as I do this, let's be in co-creation for the manifestation of all of the glorious things that we want to bring into crystallization. Oh, Ashe, Amen, Namaste, Hotep in Lakesh, Anakin, Shalom, Satnam, Hariom, Rastafari. Sacred juices are cooked and infinitely expanding, Juicefari and Blissfari. Anyway, beloveds, I thank you so much for co-creating with me, aligning with me. Let's see. I would love to hear about your experience plus relationship, all with grandmother ayahuasca. Oh my God, ayahuasca, one of my most profound teachers. You know, the plant teachers are profound. And of course, you know, they are, for me, never to be approached recreationally, but with sacred prayers and intentions. You know, my first experience with grandmother ayahuasca was in 1990, 1992, I guess it was. Yeah, 92, 93. You know, matter of fact, just right after, or not very long after my initiation into Reiki. And it was a profound experience, you know, for me, because I had the experiential understanding of the relationship that I have with Source. You know, for many, 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 many years, I would, you know, read and study and meditate and embrace the principle of being one with God. But it was through that experience of the plant medicine, ayahuasca, that I knew that in an experiential way beyond anything that I'd ever known before. And then all of the insights that came to me through the ayahuasca experience always unfolded right down the pathway of my life throughout my eternity. And just a profound experience. And, you know, even when I'm not ingesting that, and it wasn't something that I experienced all the time, and yet the consciousness of Mama Ayahuasca is with me. In fact, I have a video called A Letter to Mama and Grandmama Ayahuasca, and in fact, that's also one of the tracks, Breath and Ayahuasca, on my new album, Ascension, Love, and the Word Became Flesh. So a truly profound teacher. And if you haven't had that experience and are considering it, you know, then, you know, be really mindful. You know, it's wonderful if you're in a ceremonial setting, you know, that the shaman or whoever's holding space for that is really coming from a benevolent place, and, you know, and coming from a divine place. I mean, in all experiences, you got some shadow stuff that can happen. So you want to be discerning, you know, if you're reaching out for such an experience. But yeah, it was quite profound for me. And I have a relationship with Mama Ayahuasca because over and above being a plant medicine that is ingested, ayahuasca is a grandmother spirit. There's a consciousness there, that is behind. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the plant medicine, is to evoke the actual consciousness. And that consciousness is a reality independent of ingesting the plant. So I have an ongoing relationship with Mama and Grandmama Ayahuasca. And of course, you can do your research and learn more about that. Okay, let's see. Well, thank you all so much for co-creating with me. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for the contribution that you're making in life. I appreciate that you are aware of the value of the contribution that you're making. Thank you for knowing that the universe is over the moon in appreciation for the individualization of your being, and that you are a gift unto Creator Source, the likes of which Creator can't get anywhere else or from anyone else. Be sure and check out my website, Astarius.com, Astarius.com. I have, at this point now, 24 music albums and a couple of books. I practice and teach Reiki, and I'm available for intuitive astrological readings as well as sound healing transmissions with Didgeridoo, vocal harmonics, and Reiki. I also have a donation button on my website, and I do receive donations via Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, and of course, again, the donation button on my website. Many of you have been very generous in offering donations of appreciation for the things that I offer, and I'm so grateful for that. And I'm thanking all of you in advance who will feel the presence of mind and heart, to do that in the future. I'm not going to wait for it to be done to say thank you. I'm saying thank you now for all of those amazing and wonderful donations. I appreciate you taking a stand to really express your appreciation for the value of my sharing. And be sure and share all of your comments. Even if you're hearing this in the afterplay, your comments are very beneficial. Lots and lots of people are greatly blessed by the things that you share. And when you share forward any blessing that you received, it becomes 3 times given, because it was given to you initially. When you share it forward, that's the second giving. And then out of love, compassion, and graciousness, the universe and the Most High shares it with you yet again. So when you share your blessings, they're 3 times given, and you get to receive them twice. So that's a wonderful thing. Let me see if there's any last thing. Okay, beloveds, give yourself a great big hug. Pinch yourself on all 4 cheeks, top and bottom, as a sweet cheekaboo for you. I am Astarius Miraculii, and I love you with the passion of heaven.